Hikiwari Natto versus regular Natto, which is better? That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the Natto King. I am the author of Natto Unleashed and Ikigai Diet. Now, in the last video, I shared with you Hikiwari Natto, super anti-aging natto that will change your life. Yeah, and then I basically said Hikiwari Natto has a better quality than regular natto because it contains more vitamin E and vitamin K food, right? And I even made a short video saying Hikiwari Natto is even better than regular natto, right? However, yeah, because it was a short video, it's only like 1 minute long, actually 45-minute long or something, 45 seconds long or something. So I couldn't really, say it in detail. It's just only one aspect. Yeah, the Hikiwari Natto is better. So when you compare Hikiwari Natto and the regular natto with many, elements and factors, yeah, Hikiwari Natto is not necessarily better than regular natto. There are many areas that the regular natto is better, right? So today, I will make a fair comparison between the two, how those two nattos are different and which one is better. So now, this is not one of those, like something versus something video that I make that I don't actually choose the winner. I just say, both are good and so on. But today, I'm going to pick a winner. So please stay until the end, because at the end of the video, I'll reveal the winner of the two. Okay, so Hikiwari Natto versus Itohiki Natto. Now, the regular natto is called Itohiki Natto in Japan, or sometimes it is called Tsubu Natto. But today, I'll use the term Itohiki Natto, right? Now, so when you look at the two, you can see the difference. So Hikiwari Natto is smaller and it's more kind of crushed, yeah? And Itohiki Natto is bigger, yeah? Right. And so this is because when you make Hikiwari Natto, you crush the soybeans before fermenting them. That's what I said in the last video. And it provides more surface area for bacterial action, and that changes the vitamin content. Right. Now, however, there is another key point that I didn't mention in the last video, and that separates, Hikiwari Natto and Itohiki Natto, and that is very important. Yeah. And that is you crush the soybeans and take the skin off before soaking them. Right. So that means Itohiki Natto has the skin and Hikiwari Natto doesn't have the skin. So what they do is initially they crush dried soybeans, and then they kind of blow air to take the skin off, and then they soak the beans and steam them and finally ferment them. So it is true that you crush the beans before fermentation, but you also take the skin off, right? And it changes many things. One, it changes the taste, right? So Hikiwari Natto has a smooth texture. And then, so some people who find regular natto rather difficult to eat, they might find Hikiwari Natto easier to eat. But it doesn't necessarily mean it tastes better, because there are many people who prefer Itohiki Natto to Hikiwari Natto, including myself. Yeah, I mean, if I just compare the taste, I find Itohiki Natto tastes better. And in fact, in my long natto eating life, I have mostly eaten Itohiki Natto because Hikiwari Natto just didn't appeal to me. Yeah, right. And also, it changes the nutrient content. Yeah, so Hikiwari Natto has less mineral content, and Itohiki Natto has a higher mineral content. For example, calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and copper. Yeah, and especially calcium, zinc, and copper. Itohiki Natto has about 1.5 times more than Hikiwari Natto, especially calcium. I mean, zinc and copper, because the amount is very low anyway. So even though Itohiki Natto has 1.5 times more, still the total amount is very low. Yeah, but calcium is quite big, so it makes a big difference, right? And then Hikibari Natto has a higher vitamin content, as I described in the last video. Yeah, especially vitamin E and vitamin K. Yeah, it has about 1.5 times more than Itohiki Natto. This is due to the higher content of nattokin, natto bacteria, Bacillus subtilis. Okay, so Hikiwari Natto has more vitamins and Itohiki Natto has more minerals. And Hikiwari Natto also contains more spermidine, which is key to activating autophagy, and autophagy is the key for longevity. Yeah. And so if you want to activate autophagy, there are many ways, but taking a lot of food which has spermidine is one of the ways. And natto is said to contain the highest amount of spermidine. It has 56.1 micrograms per gram. So if you want to activate autophagy through spermidine, natto is your go-to food. Yeah, but Hikiwari Natto contains 17.52 micrograms per gram, even more than natto. So Hikiwari Natto is the best food to consume for spermidine. Yeah. Now, let's look at another factor, that is Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku, which is very important in the Ikigai diet, in the Japanese natural food movement in general. It is valued so much in Zen Shojin diet as well, right? So Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku means eating food as whole, yeah? For example, when you eat grains, it's better to eat whole grain, yeah? Like brown rice instead of refined rice, or whole wheat instead of refined wheat. Yeah, and when you eat fish, it's better to eat the whole fish. Therefore, better to eat small fish. You can eat as a whole instead of eating a part of a big fish. And when you eat vegetables, it's better to include skin as well. Yeah. So from that point of view, Itohiki Natto is whole, but Hikiwari Natto isn't, because you take the skin off. Yeah. Right. So Hikiwari Natto has more vitamin E, K, and spermidine, and Itohiki Natto has more calcium, zinc, copper, and wholeness. Okay. Now, but when you think of buying natto, which most people probably you buy natto, right? And then you need to look at another factor, yeah, because there are fewer selection for Hikiwari Natto. So in Shiga Prefecture, where I live, there are about 24 natto packages, and there's only 2 Hikiwari Natto. Yeah, and then there is no organic one. Yeah, but by the way, in the last video, I used a slightly different picture than this one. This is a regular Hikiwari Natto, but the one I used in the last video is slightly bigger because I used this Hikiwari Natto. It is like an okina Hikiwari, yeah, meaning bigger Hikiwari. Yeah. The reason why I chose this is, you see the red one, it says Kokusan, yeah, meaning domestic. Yeah. They're using domestic soybeans. Yeah. The other Hikiwari Natto is not a domestic soybeans. Yeah. So there's only one domestic soybeans of Hikiwari Natto sold in Shiga Prefecture. Yeah. So that means more selections for regular, Itohiki Natto. You get to choose domestic and organic and so on. Yeah. But Okay, in that case, you can always make your own. Yeah, in fact, that's what I do. I make my own natto. Therefore, it doesn't, concern me so much. Yeah. Um, it isn't that difficult to make Hikiwari Natto. Yeah. However, it takes one step more. Yeah. And to make Itohiki Natto, it's simpler. Yeah. Therefore, um, I usually make Itohiki Natto most of the time. I mean, occasionally I make Hikiwari Natto, but because, I make natto every week, once a week. So, it's the shorter the time it takes, the better it is for me. Yeah, right. Um, yeah. So, but I mean, still, you can make Hikiwari Natto at home too. Right. Okay, so the drum roll, please. Yeah. So, which one is the winner? Okay. Now, so I pick Itohiki Natto to be the winner. Right. So this is my opinion. Yeah, just because of, Ichibutsu Zen Taishoku is a very important factor for me. Yeah. Like eating food as a whole, just including the skin is quite incredible. And then you get a little more fiber as well. I mean, fiber content is, not a great difference, yeah, between Itohiki Natto and Hikiwari Natto. Yeah. But the mineral and other things. And so overall, yeah, I pick Itohiki Natto to be the winner. Right. Okay, so in the book Natto Unleashed, yeah, in chapter Natto Hacking, I talk about Hikiwari Natto, yeah, and in the book, it gives information about health benefits of natto, recipes, where to buy natto, DIY natto, and navigating natto's taste. So in the book, it talks about how to make natto at home, plus how to make hikiwari natto at home too. Right. The book is available on Amazon as Kindle and print on demand paperback. Okay. Now, so you can make hikiwari natto at home, and in fact, when you make hikiwari natto at home, it changes everything because there's a way to make it which will basically reverse what I talked about today. Yeah. So in other words, there's a way to make hikiwari natto at home that can improve the quality of hikiwari natto to make it even better than Itohiki Natto. And that's something I'm going to share with you in the next video. Right. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of Natto Unleashed and the Ikigai Diet. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Which do you like better? Hikiwari Natto or Itohiki Natto? Thank you. Well, I'll see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai!